Talking about cell phones, Jeff, you see where there would be a concern. I know in the Detroit public school system, they're talking about banning cell phones totally because of what occurs in the school and what's set up after school from within the school. What's your read on that?
We have a very strict cell phone policy, but as Rick said, in today's age, there's a lot of distractions. Everybody wants technology. Everybody wants the newest cell phone, the newest computer, and a lot of the students are fascinated with that stuff. And we can't blame them, but we just try to teach them that there's a time and a place. The calls in the middle of the day, the texting, they can all get to the internet on their phones and have the capacity to take pictures and whatnot. We try to limit that the best we can and help them realize they need to focus on their day at hand in school. But today's day and age, they're just fascinated.
So what is the policy as far as using a cell phone in the classroom today? I mean,
they're not allowed to have it with them.
What if they're caught texting or using the phone? What position does the school administration take?
In our building, with our policy, all the students sign up for it, and the parents are aware of this as well. The first time they get caught with a cell phone, it's taken to the office, and a parent needs to pick it up. If they do have a second violation, and the parents have been notified of their first prior violation, the school will maintain that phone until the end of the year so it's not a distraction, and then return it to that student at the end of the year.
Does that happen very often? Or?
Unfortunately, it does.
It does?
Unfortunately, it does.
So. Well, we're going to talk about, the biggest problems that you're facing today in the schools, and I want to talk a little bit about, drugs in the schools. I mean, we've got to be upfront and honest, to the parents that it doesn't matter if you're here in Warren or in Grosse Pointe or Farmington Hills, there's always a concern about drugs in the schools. So we're going to take a brief break and we'll be right back.
What is a hero? Are heroes born, or are they made? In after-school programs, your kids will uncover hidden strengths, discover they have the power to change their future, and find the hero inside themselves. Let us know you on after-school programs in your area. Call 1-800-USA-LEARN. After-school programs, helping kids find the hero within.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put handcuffs on you, okay? For your protection and mine, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to put it in front of you so it will be comfortable, okay?
All right. Whatever you want to do.
Okay. All right. Is that too tight?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. You got it?
Yep.
I wasn't going to school because I was hanging with the wrong crowd. And one day I was put into juvie for 2 stolen cars, robbery of a house, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And I was locked up. That's when I really realized that, it wasn't for me. Like, I was only in there 2 months, but to me that was enough. It'd be better for me to stay in school, just get my education. I think I'm happier now. I know I'm happier now.
Welcome back to Police Journal. We're talking to Rick and Jeff, 2 of our school resource officers, and we've been talking about their experiences in the school, and we're just now going to get into some of the cases they handle in the schools that I think you'll find very interesting. But getting into cases, let's talk about, unfortunately, the concern that we have about drugs in the school. And Rick, let's start with you, some of your experiences with drugs in the school. As I mentioned before the break, it doesn't matter if it's Warren or Grosse Pointe or Farmington Hills, there's a concern.
Right, you're right. They're absolutely right. There's no definition of a drug dealer or a user. They come from all walks of life, and it doesn't matter where you go to school or where what demographic you're in. The potential is there for anybody. So the kind of things we like to keep an eye on is watching the hallways, any suspicious kids. We get a lot of information from other students and people in the community. When we get that information, we tend to we can pass it along if it's happening outside of school. We can pass that along to other units in our department and give them information of what's going on in our community, and because inevitably that's going to link back to our schools. So we work in a partnership that way.
And Jeff, I'm sure you probably had to see some drugs yourself from students in the schools that.
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, every once in a while, like Rick said, we do get tips, whether they be from parents, students, staff. Some are anonymous, and we act on all of them. The nice part about being in the school is we don't just, enforce the laws. We can educate the students too. In the recent past, we have received tips that have led to several arrests and seizures with people outside the school selling to people inside the school, and students resourcing out and looking for drugs during their school day. And we've turned those over to our other units in our department and have been successful of minimizing what's coming in and out of our schools the best we can.
Very good. Rick, maybe I could ask you, as far as 10 years in the school or in the schools, I'm sure that there's been cases that have come to your attention, maybe information you received from students about a situation, maybe a fight that was going to occur outside the school, or maybe a big party that was going to take place, and based on the information you received, you were able to diffuse. Can you talk about a couple of situations that you've had, that you've dealt with, that because you were there as the school resource officer, you were able to diffuse the situation? Sure.
Believe it or not, a lot of these, you mentioned parties. One comes to mind where someone had the fortitude to make a pretty nice flyer and pass it around about a party they were having at their house, complete with a phone number and address and the whole 9 yards. We intercepted that. We were able to call the parents who were supposed to be leaving for Florida and inform them of a situation that may be occurring at their house. They ended up not going to Florida, ended up staying home, and were very appreciative of what we had done for them, because they had suspected things were going on. So, and we didn't do it to be a wet blanket.
Sure.
We did it for the safety of the people that may be involved in that situation where something bad may have come out of it. We work really close with our administrators. Our administrators and school staff, as far as communicating and getting things done, because the administrators have a lot of power. Actually, they have sometimes more power than we have as police officers to do searches and things in school. So we work close with them and try to assist them any way we can.
And Jeff, yourself, situations that maybe you've been able to assist as far as diffusing or making sure it didn't happen?
And saying that, a lot of our stuff works so well because of the people we work with, the assistant principals, the principals, all the administrators of the school are very supportive of us. And they recently helped myself and Warren Mott High School break up some fighting situations that we've had with some assaults that occurred over the summer. Some of these students are bringing animosity back into the school from things that have happened back in June, July, and August. And we've gotten wind of some of these arguments and assaults, and we've been able to work with some neighboring communities, including Sterling Heights, when we've heard about several arrangements for some large-scale fights. We've called these other departments, had them standing by some local parks, and actually we've been driving some kids home from these areas, talking to parents in several communities, because at our school we have kids from several different cities actually. We use those neighboring cities, talk to the parents, inform them of what was going on, what possibly was going to happen, and we've been able to diffuse several fights even just over the past couple weeks.
Very good. Now, do you get into the classroom itself and do some education in the classroom, Rick?
Sure. We're called upon. We have a criminal justice class at Cousino High School, and I'm in there quite often speaking on different issues of search and seizure and whatever topics they may have. I get called upon the teacher to come in there and speak. The marketing class, they have an issue with embezzlement that they'd like to have their employees know about that work in the school store. So I'll go and speak on embezzlement in the government classrooms on the Fourth Amendment, search and seizure. We'll go and speak on topics of that. So we do get to go into class.